Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with episode 7. That's right, episode 7 of the See You Next Tuesday series. That's quite a poignant number, that one, given the fact I'm about to talk about somebody who disgraced one of our greatest number 7s that we've ever had this football club. I'm going to get right into this guy in a minute. He fully deserves his place on this list, and you're going to see that very soon. Yes, who am I talking about? Of course, I am talking about another horror from the vault of Newcastle United's checkered past of shit managers. And this guy is really up there with some of the worst that we had. I'm talking about this man right here. That is Ruud Gullit. Now, Ruud Gullit, yet again, it has a similar presence to Steve Bruce, really. So you have Ruud Gullit, the player, who was a former Ballon d'Or winner, obviously AC Milan legend, Dutch superstar, a fantastic footballer, one of the best footballers that there ever has been. To be fair, he played midfield, and he went that sweeper position. He was brilliant. Came to Chelsea when he was supposed to be old and knackered, and he was fantastic. He ended up being player manager. I think he won the FA Cup with Chelsea. Did very well. Then he ended up coming to Newcastle United off the back of Kenny Dalglish leaving the football club with the promise of sexy football. It was about as sexy as Susan Boyle in a two-piece bikini, as we were about to find out, because it was fucking rancid under Ruud Gullit. So Ruud Gullit took over from Dalglish. The season before, we had finished 13th under Dalglish. He'd lost a lot of his best players. Obviously, Ginola had gone, Ferdinand had gone. It was all going to shit. Shearer had done his ligaments in, all that kind of stuff. So it all went tits up for Dalglish. Despite that, we got to the FA Cup final. We got beat off Arsenal. So Gullit had come in the August of 1998. And we were all quite excited about it when he first came in. We thought he was going to do really well for us. Kind of young, exciting, fresh manager, with these new ideas of sexy football and all that kind of stuff. I have to drop saying sexy like that. But that was what we were all excited about. We thought, we're going to see something quite good under Ruud Gullit here. He was a great player. He's a winner, all that kind of stuff. It turns out his training techniques and his attitude, his ego in particular behind the scenes with some of our big players was utterly abhorrent, as many people have turned around and said. I mean, none so more than his attitude towards our greatest ever player, arguably, in Alan Shearer. There was a real button of egos when it came to Ruud Gullit and Alan Shearer. And Shearer even says, he was about to leave the football club, but I think there was offers from Liverpool to take Shearer on and everything else as well. So we might not have had our greatest ever goal scorer smashing that record against Portsmouth at the Gallagher end if Ruud Gullit had had his way. Thank God that he didn't. So going back to Ruud Gullit himself, some of the stories you heard about him in the training pitch, and Steve Howie is great. If you ever see Steve Howie tell some of his tales from Newcastle United, he said in the training pitch, Ruud Gullit turned around to the back four and said, I think somebody blasted a ball like 60 yards to Gullit. He brought it down his chest, killed it dead, and then whipped it out to the right-hand side. He went, that's what I want you to do. And Steve Howie turned around him and said, well, you're fucking Ruud Gullit, mate. We can't do that. And that just shows you the understanding this guy, the lack of understanding this guy had of the players that he was working with. But going back to him as a manager, it wasn't particularly great in terms of the league finish. We finished 13th in the league again. We exactly the same as Dalglish. He did get to the '99 Cup final where we were beaten by that unbelievable Manchester United side that won the treble that year. It was Sheringham scores in the final. We got beat 2-0. So Gullit started the next season, and he only lasted 5 games. And it's that famous game that we all remember when Ruud Gullit did the unthinkable. So we went into battle against the old enemy, and that was Sunderland. And then this knacker decided to leave not just Duncan Ferguson on the bench, as you can see on the left-hand side, but Alan Shearer as well on the bench. And I believe he played Paul Robinson instead of them, which was just fucking unbelievable. We lost the game 2-1. Kevin Phillips scored a goal, rainy night, over the top of Steve Harper. I remember it well. And then Gullit resigned shortly after that. So his win ratio as Newcastle manager was something like 34%. He managed to piss off our greatest ever player in Alan Shearer. Duncan Ferguson nearly killed him the next day because Shearer tells that famous story about how he was driving at training early and Ferguson was already there, ripped the door off the hinges, giving Gullit what for. So I think he possibly resigned for his own safety. Also, as I mentioned, the number 7, he took Rob Lee's number off him. He gave it to Kieran Dye. Didn't give Rob Lee a squad number, who was the captain of the club at the time. It's unbelievable, the disgrace, the disrespect that Ruud Gullit showed up some of our brilliant players. There's that famous story as well, I think, when Stuart Pearce used to say to Rob Lee, play it short and train and I'll catch him. And he used to go after Ruud Gullit as well. So none of the senior players respected him really because it's pure ego, I think, from Ruud. Ruud obviously has gone on to become, a pundit right around the world of football, and he has made up with Alan Shearer. You'll be safe to hear he's made up with Alan Shearer. He's admitted that he was young, he was full of ego, he's a bit full of himself. So he has learned a little bit, unlike other people like Graham Souness and Sam Allardyce, who still think their way is the highway. At least Ruud Gullit has actually had a bit of a development going on over the years. But yes, as Newcastle United manager, Ruud, you were shite, unfortunately, mate, for you. And we haven't got fond memories of you, apart from the fans wearing those weird mops dyed black in the crowd and saying "Sheffield football" every chance that they had. But other than that, it was a pretty turgid time under Ruud Gullit. Thank the Lord, the great Sir Bobby Robson came in and saved the day from us sinking fast into Ruud Gullit. Got Alan Shearer back firing again, got us in the Champions League, and then the great times returned again under Bobby. But yes, Ruud, you firmly deserve your place on this list of See You Next Tuesdays. So take a seat right next to the rest of the horrors that are in there, mate. So this is Chris, done with another See You Next Tuesday. If this is the kind of thing you like, guys, please make sure you click like and subscribe. I'd love you to come and join us. We're over 3275 subscribers now, so there's loads of room for you guys here. We've got 2 live shows Mondays and Wednesdays and pop-up videos just like the See You Next Tuesday one you've just watched. And if you can like the video as well, it really helps get it around YouTube. I'll be back with another blast from the past and the vault from the horror section that is Newcastle United. The past may be bad, but the future is bright. Let's keep supporting that team of United, and we'll catch you later, everybody. Cheers, bye.